people say you're conservative. I'm not conservative. You know what I am? I'm a man of common sense. And a lot of conservative policies are common sense.
All right. So the Republican candidate for president is not conservative in his mind. He also raised eyebrows with these comments about the vaccine. Quote, the pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccines that saved us from COVID are now being used to help beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. You're welcome, Joe. 9 months approval time versus 12 years that it would have taken you. That is in response to President Biden's comments during the State of the Union. While the former president is making it clear he wants to reach independent voters, at least right now, this tack to the center is costing him with his own base. Case in point, conspiracy theorist, radio host Alex Jones strongly criticized Trump's post. If I see any more of this from Trump, any more of this, I may have to go on the warpath politically. One could argue that Alex Jones is always on the warpath, but I digress. The former president faces a real challenge between picking up the voters he needs to win in November, that being suburban swing voters, suburban women, and not losing the base he desperately needs to turn out. Bill O'Reilly's here, host of the No Spin News, author of the coming book, Confronting the President's No Spin Assessments from Washington to Biden. Bill, has somebody confronted Donald Trump and told him he needs to tack to the center?
I would assume that his campaign is laying out demographics that he has to appeal to, particularly in the 10 swing states, if he wants to be president again. I would assume that conversation is ongoing.
All right, so he moves to the center, and then what? Does he stay there?
I don't know. You'd have to, you know, I'm not surprised by any of this because I wrote the book, The United States of Trump, which tells you exactly who Donald Trump is. He's never been a conservative thinker, ever, in his entire life. He used to be a Democrat and support the Democrats in New York City and state. What he is a traditional guy, a linear thinker. He believes that times were better when there was a order in society. So he appointed Supreme Court justices who are traditional jurists. That was the most important thing he did for the country in his 4 years. Because if Hillary Clinton had beat him, we would have an entirely different country right now. So Trump, I don't know why people are worried about this. There aren't very many hard right voters anymore. The mass of voters are, yes, conservative Republicans, but they're not loons.
All right. So when you say traditional, and you've made this point before, right, that the debate in America is not between left and right or red versus blue, but is traditional values versus progressive values. And it breaks that way. It explains the working class divide. You've got the working class who believes in traditional values. Perhaps if we thought about what Donald Trump believes in rather than traditional values, does he just believe in transactional values?
Yes, his whole, he's not a politician per se. He could have never written Confronting the Presidents. He doesn't know very much about that. He governed the way he ran his business. It was deal after deal after deal after deal. And most of his deals worked out for the country, economically for certain. At the border in his last year, that was totally under control, and we didn't have chaos overseas. But all of them were deals that he made with people like Putin and with the North Korean loon, okay? That's how he governs. I mean, he's not somebody who goes in and reads position papers like Barack Obama did. He doesn't do that. He just has his people. They tell him this is the problem, and he figures out a way that he thinks he can solve it. He's a simple man in that regard.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.